is your land.
Come seek an adventure at the old pirates, eh?
Make the jump to light speed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. Starting July 24th, Genie Plus at Disneyland will be rebranded as Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Lightning Lane Single Pass instead. Dealing with Lightning Lane at Disneyland has become a ubiquitous experience for occasional visitors to the park. Folks attending every week are not likely to pay the cost for Genie Plus on every visit, and some see how dependent it makes you on your phone and avoid it for that reason. But for the most part, it really is worth the cost for what you get, and they use it. The price point is set at about 20 to 30% of the ticket price per person per day.
It adds up quickly, but it's nowhere near the cost of similar services we've experienced at competitive parks like Universal Studios, Six Flags, and Legoland. Costs for line jumping services at these parks can be as much or more as the cost of a general admission ticket. Express Pass at Universal Hollywood essentially doubles your admission cost.
That does seem to make Genie Plus's cost more reasonable, but you get what you pay for in this life. The service that Genie Plus offers is simply not comparable to, say, the Express Line program at Universal or Legoland, and several others. These programs require no planning whatsoever. You can just roam the park as you please and walk onto a very fast Express Line as you come upon attractions as you like.
Think about that. It costs 3 to 4 times more than Disney's service, but it allows you to do as you please, only having to think about showtimes for theatrical experiences and only using your phone for mobile order if you are so inclined.
Now, don't get us wrong, the standby times at these other parks can be ridiculous, and the experience between the haves and the have-nots is quite massive. With Genie Plus, Disneyland is trying to strike a middle ground, and the result is unsurprisingly a bit of a mixed bag. The big change is that you have to make reservations digitally for every ride. You have to get return times in order to use the line-skipping service.
This change is a huge hassle and really what makes the service less valuable, but nonetheless, it does work and can save you lots of time. Rule to remember number 1, you have to be in the park physically inside the gates to make your first reservation of the day. Yes, you can purchase Lightning Lane in advance when you purchase tickets directly from the park, but it doesn't help much. You still have to wait for your entire party to get inside the park in order to make a reservation.
This is different from Walt Disney World, which allows you to make reservations at a certain time no matter where you are on park grounds. For occasional visitors, heed this tip well. Mornings and late nights are kings at Disneyland, especially the mornings. The crowds are significantly lower the first couple hours the park is open. This is also going to affect the value of Lightning Lane, as we will explain.
Rule to remember number 2, get your group together before entering the park. Link your tickets and passes together.
If you're planning on operating as a group, in the app you can link all the tickets together, which then allows one person to make Lightning Lane reservations for everyone. This saves time. It guarantees you will get the same return times as well.
Rule to remember number 3, you have to make reservations for every person per attraction. There is a limited amount of Lightning Lane reservations any participating attraction has on a given day based on its popularity and capacity. Return times are based upon demand and capacity. So some rides, like Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, has massive capacity and will offer quick return times throughout the day.
However, the opposite is true. Really popular rides with lower capacity will start to fully book up their Lightning Lane reservations. By noon, rides like Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, Space Mountain, and Indiana Jones Adventure might only be offering late return times, many hours from the time you book it. And by late afternoon, several attractions will be sold out with no more Lightning Lane reservations available at all.
It's just another reason why mornings matter at Disneyland. Lightning Lane has more value earlier in the day. We don't recommend purchasing it if you arrive in the afternoon. Your return times will be long and many rides won't even be available.
Rule to remember number 4. You can only make one Lightning Lane selection per attraction per person per day. In other words, you only get to use this once on each ride. End of story. Don't really like this new rule.
So plan carefully. Don't waste Lightning Lanes on rides with short standby times. Use them early on the most popular rides so you get reasonable return times and knock out more rides.
Also consider how you split up your party. If one group heads into the park early and uses a Lightning Lane for a ride, they're not going to be able to do it again later in the day with the rest of the party.
Rule to remember number 5. You can hold more than one Lightning Lane at once. You can make a new reservation once you scan your current one or every 2 hours. At the top of your tip board, the Lightning Lane service tells you when you can make your next reservation. Most often, you can scan in and then make another reservation while in line.
On a good note, the app has been streamlined over time. It's fairly easy to navigate and we expect more improvements in the future. Just be sure to refresh a lot, like a lot.
This happens most often when you make a reservation for a really popular ride that won't be until much later. Then, 2 hours can pass and you can book a new Lightning Lane. With a little bit of luck, you can sometimes time 2 reservations in succession in a similar area of the park.
Rule to remember number 6. You have to physically be inside the park in order to make a reservation in it. This sounds like rule 1, and it kinda is, but this points out that the rule applies to both parks when park hopping.
Lightning Lane works in both parks. If you're park hopping and want to make reservations in the other park, you will have to actually step through the gates to activate the second park. But once you do, you will see that you can make reservations for Lightning Lanes in both parks at the same time.
For example, if we spend the morning at Disneyland, say, and then head back to the hotel for lunch, we make sure to step into DCA before heading out. That way we can spend lunch making reservations in both parks, because once you've been in the park, the service still works, even if you're off-site.
Rule to remember number 7. Use all the scan posts. You can scan your Lightning Lane at an attraction via a magic band linked to your account, or scan your paper ticket or phone ticket barcode.
Please look for multiple scan points, though. Using all of them really helps the Lightning Lane move along.
Rule to remember number 8. Disneyland has tons of rides that are standby only, meaning they do not offer Lightning Lane. This one can be a surprise to Walt Disney World regulars. Remember, buying this service does not mean you can use it on every ride.
Classics like Peter Pan, Alice in Wonderland, Storybook Canal Boats, and Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage, well, they don't participate in Lightning Lane.
DCA operates much more like an Orlando park with fewer attractions and more of them offering Lightning Lane. Still, the park has several rides that don't offer Lightning Lane, like the Golden Zephyr, Luigi's Rollickin' Roadsters, Jumping Jellyfish, and others.
Rule to remember number 9. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance in Disneyland and Radiator Springs Racers at DCA are not included with Lightning Lane Multi-Pass. They require Lightning Lane Single Pass purchases. We're definitely not fans of this move.
In other words, they want more money. These attractions are can't-miss rides that usually sport pretty long waits. Some advice from us: the standby line for Rise of the Resistance is fun, mostly shaded, and interesting. You can't get through the line in less than 20 minutes anyway, even if there was no wait, so consider skipping the service on that one.
Radiator Springs Racers is a little bit less comfortable on a hot day, but it's not so bad once you get up inside the canyon there, especially if they've got the misters on. If you do want to book these individual Lightning Lanes, you can do so pretty much at any time. They almost always have quick return times, and you can hold them in addition to any other Lightning Lanes you might have. It won't affect them at all. The only limitation is you can only ride them with the service once.
Rule to remember number 10. If an attraction goes down by the end of your hour-long reservation window, or the ride closes after you scan in but before you manage to get on the ride, believe me, it happens, your Lightning Lane will turn into a multiple experiences Lightning Lane, and we've come to like those.
These multiple experience passes, they have a little link inside of them that you can click on, and it'll show you the list of attractions that you can go choose from. And you can ride them whenever you want. There's not a certain time limit. It's very flexible, and potentially you can get on your favorite ride twice. It does not count against your once per ride rule.
Rule to remember number 11. Don't be early. If you show up any more than 5 minutes early, cast members will likely not let you pass, especially if it's busy. They do have some discretion here. Any more than 10 minutes early, and no way.
If you're early to your Lightning Lane, please don't wait right at the entrance blocking everyone else. Back it on up a bit, chill out of the way. Thanks.
If you know you're going to be late, you can modify your Lightning Lane in the app, choosing whatever the current return time is. You usually get 10 minutes grace, but after that, you will lose the Lightning Lane.
Rule to remember number 12. Okay, this is our last one. Remember, this gets you a shorter line experience, but not always a short line experience. Sometimes on rides, single rider lines are the quickest ways on, and sometimes the Lightning Lanes get congested and backed up.
Nevertheless, you can rest assured Disney definitely prioritizes Lightning Lane and the Genie Plus service when loading attractions.
Well, friends, we sure hope this is helpful on your next trip to Disneyland.
Thanks so much for joining us. Subscribe for more. May the light in the firehouse window always shine brightly.
And may your dreams always come true. See you in the parks.
Some imagination, huh?